Masculinity. What even is it? Qualities are attributes regarded as characteristic of men. What you may have noticed is that the official definition doesn't clarify exactly what qualities are or should be regarded as characteristic of men. That goes the same for the definition of femininity. But have no fear, because Great Britain is here with the patriarchy and the Bible to tell us exactly what properties are masculine and feminine. So if you fast forward to the wonderful chaotic year of 2025, you probably observed that men have completely lost the plot and their minds.
Nigga, I created you, nigga. Well, God created you, but I helped.
Turns out the definition of masculinity and femininity provided to Western civilization was not only toxic and unnatural, but it was also impossible to uphold. Now, to be fair, I'm no psychologist. I'm just a broke black man with enough free time to think about these type of things. But if you got enough free time to watch this video, then you do too. Let's think together. If you grew up in a society that tells you over and over again, through TV, music, the news, etc., that men are supposed to be strong, stoic breadwinners, and women are supposed to be meek, submissive servants, eventually you're going to start believing it. Men make the money, and women cook, clean, and raise the kids. And according to the patriarchy, what is the most prestigious type of woman for a man to have? Young, submissive, pure, and physically attractive. A dynamic that on the surface appears to favor the men. But when your masculinity is dependent on women playing their roles, what is your masculinity worth when women stop playing their roles? And I think that's what we're dealing with now. Men fighting tooth and nail to keep the predatory practices of the patriarchy alive. And I truly believe that the patriarchy harmed women in many ways, but it absolutely ruined men. So first we got to talk about the persistent presence of pedophilia in patriarchy. Goddamn, Peter Piper picked a pepper here there. But according to the patriarchy, properly masculine men are strong, controlling leaders. And as a result, I believe this caused society to romanticize and fetishize extremely unbalanced power dynamics.
And I wish some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. Well, you will see me on the news. Let me just tell you that right now. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. You better walk by and say, praise the Lord. That's what you better do. Cause that's my wife.
Who can we trust to lead the youth when all the elders are trying to fuck the youth? Without any exaggerations, this decrepit old fart is old enough to be this girl's grandpappy. And unfortunately, the alarming thing about this isn't a degenerate pastor preying on children. The alarming part of this is his boldness about it all. Now, I can't be the only one who noticed just how desperate he is to try to normalize this abomination of a marriage. People like Pastor Dickhead here wants to go back to a time where society viewed females as commodities. You know, back in the good old days when the only crimes taken serious were the crimes against other men. But the good pastor here isn't the only evolutionary reject trying to normalize being a pedo, because it's not just in the church. As we all know, it's all throughout the media.
Public figures have been open about their relationships. Members of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones have admitted, bragged, and discussed their relationships pretty publicly. Most notably, Rolling Stone bassist Bill Wyman wrote in his autobiography that his girlfriend took my breath away. She was a woman at 13. Jail, le prison. Anyway, their relationship became public only when she reached the legal age of consent in the UK, which is 16, after they met when she was 13 at an award show. Mind you now, this boy was 47 years old at the time. Bob Wyra and Phil Leach of the Grateful Dead. You know, a friend of the devil is a friend of mine. You're damn right, because you're going to hell. They are both married to women who were teenagers when they met. And let's not get started on post-modern poop cultural appropriator Elvis flickin' Presley and his grooming of Priscilla when he was 14. Let's talk about Jerry Lee Lewis marrying his teenage cousin. Filmmaker Woody Allen. Yeah, let's talk about him. Adopted, groomed, and then married his own daughter. Y'all, my dog, listen. Y'all get me hot in there, man.
Now, the white pedos usually get to keep their reputation intact, but regardless, there's a lot of these down bad predators out here trying to date kids. In fact, this has been happening for so long throughout history that now these type of men are using that extensive history of predatory behavior to justify more predatory behavior in the present. Like, just something existing for a long period of time is a valid justification for it to continue to exist. Respecting history don't always have to mean repeating. We don't got to do everything that was done in the past. But that's not enough, because, once again, they need women to willingly play their role in the patriarchy for it to work properly. And as you can expect, modern women are refusing the role of subservient sex slaves.
Susie, make me a sandwich.
In a minute, Oscar. I'm ironing your pants.
Why can't you do both at the same time?
I love you.
If you love me, then make me a sandwich.
So as a result, men gotta sit their bitter asses in front of a mic and camera for 80% of the damn work week just to help program people into following their roles.
Helping women to recognize they are not that special, to where men stop getting demonized. I'm not going to settle. No, it's time to sell. If you're over 27, it's time to sell. If you're a woman over 27, it's time to sell. If you're a woman over 30, it's time to put some, it's time to mark this shit on 50% off. If you're over 35, it's time to put that shit on clearance. If you're at 40, it's time to put that shit at the outlet. If you're at 50, Salvation Army.
Kevin Samuels is one of the OG internet vibe killers. He's pretty much always a bitter, judgmental, closed-minded storm cloud of negativity at any given time of the day. A perfect blueprint for Fresh and Fit and the rest of those jokers to follow. It was very common for Kevin Samuels to talk about women like they're used cars. He didn't just dehumanize women, but he dehumanized relationships in general. Yet for some reason, his chronically single ass thought he was equipped to give life and even relationship advice to other people, who are human, by the way. So how can you give good advice to a human being if you're trying to ignore the fact that they're a human being? He talked about the age, weight, and career of women, but was terrified of that L word. A lot of insecure men are. It requires a certain amount of humility and vulnerability to accept the importance of love in a relationship. But because Kevin Samuels was such a superficial man-child, he probably never even considered why people feel love in the first place. Human beings, men and women, are not cars. I know, brilliant, right? Love gives us the extra motivation and strength to protect the people who will protect us. This could be a matter of survival. I don't know for sure, because I'm not God. But I know for sure that humans are social creatures, and love helps us stay that way. When manosphere people talk about relationships, they always talk about us like we're fucking orangutans. Humans are at the top of the food chain because we're not orangutans, or lions, or bulls, or silverback, or wolves, or anything else. We have intelligence and free will. Bro over there building Wakanda. Let me in there, bro. I don't want to live here no more. So survival of the fittest only have a little bit to do with physical strength. The fittest human would actually be the most intellectually sound human.
To me, at least the way that when I teach it, all type of knowledge ultimately means self-knowledge.
And I'm talking about all types of intelligence here. Analytical, practical, spiritual, creative, emotional, etc. So loving your partner helps to ensure that if you do have kids, the kids will be raised in an environment conducive to developing a healthy mental state.
What's that? What was inspiring you? Was it like a life? Was it God? And was it romance?
Okay, so
Love.
can I answer the question?
Okay.
Something you ironically don't see much of in the manosphere these days. That's probably why they love to ignore the humanity of human beings and compare us to animals and cars. I am not, however, saying that people should ignore all logic and just follow love when they're pursuing a relationship, because that would obviously be naive. But the basic humanity of people definitely should be included in the equation when calculating a formula for a successful life. That's part of the reason why the people that subscribe to this mindset are so damn unhinged.
I fuck have feelings for these girls. I fuck have sexual feelings. I fall in love with these girls, and some nigga come along and get with them, cause they never wanted me that way. Oh, fuck those bitches and fuck niggas. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all bitches. You don't want to answer your goddamn calls. You don't want to text me. You don't want to call me. You don't want me at your fuck boyfriend. You fuck y'all.
Guys don't care about your hobbies. We don't really care that much. We want a young, fertile vessel who is going to agree with us and like what we like and adapt to us, who is malleable and easily manipulated. We don't want a woman with opinions or hobbies. Shut up, have kids, cook, clean, be a good mom. That's it.
Speak for yourself, you gap-toothed heathen. The patriarchy has caused men to develop a certain level of entitlement that's detrimental to their ability to make meaningful connections with women. Here are two guys that definitely look like what they're going through. EDPP and the human manifestation of Jeepers Creepers. This is actually a terrifying duo, I'm not gonna lie. The patriarchy turned these two men into literal monsters. Like, bruh, where is Scooby-Doo in them? Somebody called it Ghostbusters or Men in Black or something. Imagine walking down an alley and you just see these two niggas walking towards you. I might actually think it was a zombie apocalypse going on. Like, that would be an ungodly amount of concentrated ashiness in one location. But that's what the patriarchy can do to a man. First, you're a kid in Bible school and they teach you that men were created first and Eve, childish ass, caused all the pain and suffering in the world. Then you go to school and the kids whose parents don't monitor what they watch, which is like 99% of them little bastards, pressure you to get romantically involved with girls potentially a lot sooner than you're ready. Then when you finally discover the inappropriate stuff yourself, the lovely media adds an extra layer of pressure on you to get a lot of money and a lot of bitches in that order. And all of that's happening before you even in middle school. And now you have a level of entitlement towards women because you've been conditioned to see them as a commodity that all men should have.
So I just came out of Kroger's to buy some groceries for next week. And I've got a question. God has had me in this period of isolation these last few months. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss the memo. So what is it with a lot of, I said a lot of, many of them, not all of them, black women in the grocery store, you look them right in the face and you say hello and they act like you didn't say anything. Am I missing something, or is there a memo that I did not hear about?
Yes, sir. You are missing the very small detail that no person owe you a greeting. And this is what I mean when I say entitlement. As a guy who posts TikToks every day, I have never even considered making a video about someone not wanting to speak to me. Like, how are you so offended by someone not speaking to you that you made a video ranting about it? This ain't even worth an off-camera rant. You know how many times I've said hi to like actual work colleagues that didn't say hi back? You know why? Because people are not always paying attention to you. You are not the main character, sir. Respectfully. You're a side character in your own life. Stop it. What would that hi have done for you? Like, relax, great unk. It's not that deep. Just imagine what you look like approaching her in a grocery store at this time of night. Imagine what she thought. You walk up looking like a San Andreas NPC. No disrespect, great unk, but you look like you got nothing to lose. She erred on the side of caution and chose not to engage with you at all. And before any of you crunchy bastards hop in the comments talking about not all men.
I'm so playing.
If you give me her, I'll just leave you alone. I'll walk off. If you give me her, I'll just walk off. Swear to God.
I'm not gonna do that.
It's the only way to ask. Give me her, I'll walk off.
It's okay.
That's the only thing that'll make my day.
What about me? I can't just be doing that. You said you were underage. I can't do that.
Please.
I can't do that. You gonna make me feel bad.
Your husband ain't gonna know.
You said what?
Your husband ain't gonna know.
My husband will know, because I'm gonna tell him, because I can't be doing stuff like that.
Why you gotta tell him?
Because that's what you do when you get married. That's what you do.
We'll be alright. Please.
But I do appreciate you for asking and not just doing it. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
You the baddest girl I've seen in the store.
Thank you. I do appreciate that too.
Can I get a side hug at least?
You are so crazy. I said it's okay.
Cause I know you don't want to get full.
You done walked away from your snacks and everything.
Fuck your snacks, bro.
Okay. Don't be mad at me. I ain't giving y'all no hugs today. I'm so sorry.
2,000 years later.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm fixing to get Mom. I'm gonna get my stuff. And I'm fixing to go. Okay? Don't be mad at me.
Definitely mad at you now.
Do not be mad at me. I gotta go. Okay. Thank you for asking though. Okay. Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. I will have to call the police on you. Do not do that. I said we was cool. Okay?
So yeah, now you see why chicks can't be too nice to niggas. To me, it's obvious that this lady was working overtime to spare this little hooligan's feelings, but I strongly advise against this. Predators will usually go after easy prey. The nicer you are, the easier it is for the predator to like ease their way into your space. If you make your boundaries clear from the jump, he can't ease his way into shit. You have to commit to being a public predator or walk away. Like, you eliminate his ability to rationalize his invasive behavior in his own head. You break the delusion. So he can't tell himself you actually want him. Then you just have to defend yourself if he commit to publicly attacking you. Which, if he does that, then he was probably going to be on that type of timing no matter what you chose to say to him. And I do understand why trying to protect a potential predator's feelings might seem like the safer option in the moment, but I personally believe it is extremely dangerous. And I ain't saying cussing somebody out just for talking to you. I'm saying a clear and concise, no thanks, with a stiff demeanor. Not anything that can be misconstrued as flirty. Like, don't let them change the subject, and don't be answering all them pointless ass questions either. Like, what's your boyfriend's middle name? Just say whatever it is you're gonna say to express you're not interested and leave. And if they follow you, then record and make a scene. That way, there's no gray area for misinterpreting anything at all. I personally advise strongly against protecting their ego out of fear. The more agreeable you are, the better prey you are. The more confident and aggressive you are, the worse prey you are. There's a reason why those type of dudes are so annoyed by, quote, masculine women, because they're difficult prey. Not impossible prey, so don't misunderstand me. Difficult prey. So, what are the characteristics that I personally associate with masculinity? Well, based off the examples I had in my life growing up, my father, uncles, cousins, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Spider-Man, Beowulf, Goku, real niggas. I define a man as a problem solver, firstly, but above anything else, a hero. I believe that looks different for different people, but for me, the traits necessary to be a hero is how I've defined masculinity for about 90% of my life. Courageous, honorable, respectful, and responsible. And I always knew that if I just stuck within the parameters of these 4 principles, I'd be a man that I could be proud of. Like, I never thought it made sense to stake something eternal like your masculinity on circumstantial, materialistic things like money, cars, and relationships. I don't think that should factor into it. I don't think you should feel like less of a man if you can't change a tire. Just like I don't think you're less of a man if you don't get laid every other day. I know that if I was the last nigga on earth on some like I Am Legend type shit, I'm still gonna be the man I think I am. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who needed to hear this, but if you did need to hear this, then I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Peace. A little while ago, I made a video in which I named my community the Animal Kingdom. You know, the lone wolf is my spirit animal, and everyone have a spirit animal, blah, blah, blah. You get it. But I hate that name, because it betrays the why of my name. You see, all my life I've always been a loner, and as a kid, I couldn't figure out why. But as an adult, I realized something about myself. I am a free thinker, and I don't know how well y'all remember school, but it requires a certain level of conformity that I was completely oblivious to, especially in elementary school. What's wrong with FUBU? I think it looks good. Lord, someone save him. The reason individuality is seen as a character flaw in school is because social norms help us identify with one another. So kids usually have a hard time making sense of people who are too different. Either way, this affected the way I viewed my relationship with humanity. All I knew was that people didn't know how to react to me. And what that would usually look like for me is people enjoying my company in that moment, but having no emotional investment beyond that moment. Nah, that little weird, that nigga kinda cool for real. I was well liked from a distance. The point is, because I didn't belong to any community, I was able to exist in a sort of no man's land between all the communities. It was here in this void space where I gained my eyes of absolute sight. It was there I saw the truth of humankind. People join communities to avoid feeling lonely. But if everyone collectively left their communities, they would never feel lonely again, because we will all be in the no man's land. I don't call myself the lone wolf because I think there's strength in walking alone. I call myself lone wolf because there's freedom in walking alone. More accurately, thinking alone. And because I'm in no man's land, I'm connected to everything. So, believe it or not, I never really feel lonely. I'm connected to everything. I hope by now you understand I'm talking about psychological sense of belonging to a community, the conscious or subconscious archetypes we use to cage our identities in order to feel a sense of belonging. When you mentally free yourself from the pressure of conformity, you free your mind. For instance, so even though I'm black, I don't feel the pressure of talking a certain way or eating certain foods or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Don't just think outside the box, live outside the box. So obviously it's hypocritical of me to create my own community. Freeing people from all communities will allow us to exist as one massive community of free thinking individuals. So escape the imprisonment of conformity and join me in no man's land.